Hello, welcome to Kerry's Tribute. It's going to be tough, but they are supposed to be if you care about somebody. Uh, with me is the lovely Daniela and the lovely Jackie / Iron Dogger. Hello,
Hello.
Hello.
how are y'all doing?
We're doing okay.
Hanging in there.
It's
It's been difficult for all of us, including everybody who's watching tonight. And I just wanted to, I put a community post up. It's just to apologise that we didn't reach out a little bit sooner, but this literally kind of just swept the feet from under us. I was in hospital, Brad's not been well. It's just hit us all at such a weird time that it just took so long for us to process what's happened and to, deal with everything else that's been going on and, trying to support Linda as well. But we just have been so overwhelmed with the support that you've shown in the comments, in the messages, in the emails. And, I'm sorry if I haven't got back to everybody because there's just been so many, but we truly do thank you for that support because, it's what's got us through. And, that's why we're here tonight. So, Brad, you wanted to say a few things.
sure. First off, I agree with Daniela. Thank you so much, everybody who sent so many kind thoughts and messages. Thank you, Daniela, and Linda and my wife and Jackie for being my rock. Darn the luck I have 4 strong women around me. That's, throw me in that briar patch every day and I'll be happy as a clam. But I don't know what to do. I don't know how to deal with this. It sucks. But, life goes on. And, everybody reaching out, I try to hit at least a heart on everybody to say thank you. The people, you know who you are, who helped me. And, the one thing that I've gotten a lot of is people have said, you seem like you knew Kerry for a long time. And I've known Kerry for 26 months. And it was, my wife was saying, you guys have a bromance. And it was kind of funny because initially we talked all the time and just about everything. Maybe 25% about Bigfoot, the rest about life experiences. We realized we both used to be ornery until we met our current wives. They fixed us because they didn't try to fix us. So when they don't try to fix you, you want to be fixed. And Kerry and I were so much like that. But one of the things that I keep going back to is I don't know if y'all noticed that, especially towards the end, Kerry and I started screwing with each other when we were doing the Late Show. And Kerry, he always made the sound. And, people would kind of say, Kerry, it's kind of annoying. And he would chuckle. But Kerry hated noises in the background. And so I would turn on one time he got on me about the dishwasher beeping because the microphone picked it up and it's on the other side of the house. So when I knew it started bugging him, I would set the dishwasher every night before he did a show. And when it would go off, he would just, how Kerry would be, he'd look up at you real fast and that hat would just, move up and you could see those eyes. And, he knew what I was doing, but we never talked about it. And then one time Bailey was snoring. And so I put the microphone in front of Bailey and he looked up at me and I just kind of smiled and he sent me a text and called me a name, which I won't say, but then it was on and everything from Bailey chewing his nails to I would make Bailey get up and walk across the floor. So we have wooden floors. So you hear, ta, 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 ta. And he would just, look up and send me a lovely message. But that's the thing I keep going back to. And but I also go back to that, I don't know how to deal with this. I mean, this is hard. I mean, my family doesn't pardon me. I owe $10. Sorry, Dixie. Hello to Dixie, by the way.
Dixie, yeah. Look, it's time. just time.
It is, and
everyone deals in it in a different way.
and Daniela and Linda were so sweet last night, because when I was told it was tonight, I acted like a little kid. I was like, nope, 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 don't want to do it. Doctor's appointment, nope. Trying to come up with excuses not to do it. But then I realized it's not about what I want. It's what Linda wants, and it's all about what Linda wants. And that is so important, because I know that if it had been me, Kerry would be taking care of Mary like I'm trying to do for Linda. So with that being said, I gave Kerry a bottle of this for Christmas. Salute.
Yeah, it's difficult for everybody, and we're all finding this hard, and also very surreal that Kerry's not here. There is a huge Kerry-shaped hole in all our lives, and never did I think we would be doing a show like this, but tonight we've got a few people coming on later, and we have got Linda coming on, and she wants to talk a little bit about Kerry and the channel, but mainly, we're going to celebrate Kerry tonight, and I want people. Linda's up for asking questions. I want people to be really kind of mindful about the questions that you're asking, and not to get into too much detail about things. Let's not go into what happened. I'm sure Linda will reveal as much as she wants to, and from there, if you've got any questions about them, as a couple, about how they started all this, let's keep it positive tonight, and I'm sure you all will. But sorry, Jackie.
I know I've been chatty Cathy, so my apologies.
But Jackie, you're here because you're part of the Bigfoot Odyssey family. You joined us with me for Sunday Encounters, and we all feel like you're a part of this journey that Kerry, created, Kerry and Linda. So we're glad you're here.
Thank you.
So I'm thrilled. You make me smile when I see your antics.
Jackie's no tequila. This is the problem. Jackie hasn't got a bottle of tequila.
No.
I love those little shorts that you put on, and not shorts. I'm sure they're lovely too, but those short videos, because I see it and I go, I got to go there. I got to go there. I got to go there. And with that being said, the lovely Jackie.
Thank you. I don't know if you have a moment for me. I've just got something just short written, and
Of course.
I do have a candle lit for Kerry, and this will remain burning. It is a 7-day candle. Peaceful journey, Kerry. Bigfoot Odyssey is a love story at its very core. Kerry was experiencing trauma, PTSD, and Linda found a way towards his healing, and together they created a community. We are all here as a direct result of their love towards one another and dedication to raising awareness. I hope we can continue in honor of the uniquely driven leader we had in Kerry.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I think you nailed it. It's all day today. When I was talking to Daniela, I was trying to, and Linda and others, I was trying to come up with the right thing to say. And I don't know if there is a right thing to say, except that we love Kerry. And I was so lucky. I haven't seen Kerry since 168, and he stopped by on his way to West Texas a little over a month ago. And we, he got to meet Bailey, and Bailey was excited, and it was great because, Kerry was huge. He looked like he could play middle linebacker. He was strong as a bull. And, we visited, we both exchanged gifts. Actually, he gave me some moonshine, and the best hot dogs, a case of hot dogs, my favorite hot dogs. And, you know, we always kind of did that kind of stuff. And then he gave me a bear hug. And, you know, we said we loved each other. And I just keep going back to that. It was so sweet and it was so nice, but it was two pals. And I miss my pal. I miss my friend. I love Bigfoot Odyssey, but I miss my pal. And I wake up sometimes in the middle of the night, I look at my phone to see if he texted me. And
It's hard. I know.
Yeah.
It's hard. I would love to be waking up and it all being a dream. And it was so, you know, it's been so amazing doing this whole thing with Kerry. We literally just flowed so well together. We were always on the same path. And it just worked. It was almost, I don't want to say perfect, but there was a lot of times when I used to almost have to pinch myself and go, this is just such not too good to be true, but this is amazing how this channel flows so well, what we're doing, what we're creating, and how it's happened just so naturally and organically. It's built this great community, and we found this place where people will come and share their encounters. And that's where Kerry wanted it to be when he first started doing the live shows. And, you know, we've put a lot of time into building it up. And it's just got to where it's prime now. And suddenly he's gone. And that's just the really saddest thing. But, you know, what's important is we really want to keep this going for people, keep this place going, because this is what Kerry worked so hard at. And it would just be such a shame not for to be a place anymore, for people to come, because, you know, we've been here for you, and that's why that's, you know, really important to us. And especially at this time now, it's really great. We've got 750 people in the live chat, which is amazing. And I'm so glad that you're all here.
It means so much
for us just to be together with this and about this, because, you know, yeah, Kerry had his own life and married, but Bigfoot Odyssey is such a big part of his life, and that, you know, I just feel like we all need to support each other right now. It's really important, and this is what this place is about, is to do that. And I know the community has just done that, you know, in so many ways over the last few weeks. So we're really grateful for that. And Linda, you know, it's really helped Linda, all the cards she got, amazing amount of flowers, so much that she ran out of space to put them. So her house smelled amazing, but she'll tell you all about that when she comes on. But look, I've made, well, with the help of, you know, he put so much time into this. Gary Spikes Jr. really helped me out to create a video, my kind of, you know, tribute to Kerry, and, you know, how all this started, and the kind of timeline of us coming to here at this point. And so this is my little take on, you know, kind of what Kerry meant to me, to people, to everybody. So we're going to play that now, and then we'll get Linda to come on, and we'll take it from there. So it's been a few weeks since I've been doing this stuff, so you'll just have to give me a minute to get myself.
And, you know, I don't know how to do it, so
yeah, I feel a little bit rusty. I mean, it's been a long time since I've.
Hey, throw me in that briar patch. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's okay. I can do this.
You got this,
Daniela. You do have this. Thank goodness for you.
Thank goodness for you guys as well. Right. Bear with me, guys. Here we go.
Sasquatch, also known as Bigfoot or Grassman. In the South, it's referred to as skunk ape or wood booger. And across the globe, yeti, yowie, and yeren, to name a few. I'm KERRY ARNOLD, and this is Bigfoot Odyssey.
On this episode of Bigfoot Odyssey, we're in the lush pine belt of South Central Mississippi. This episode of Bigfoot Odyssey, we're in swampy South Louisiana. On this episode of Bigfoot Odyssey, we're in rustic Southeast Oklahoma.
On this episode of Bigfoot Odyssey, we are in scenic Central Ohio.
This is my family. We do have a little bit of something that we want to give to you guys that we don't normally do. You guys watch us do our intro, and all that's memorized. We don't have cue cards or anything. It's written out, and I memorize my part. Linda, she just wants a little small part of it. So I memorize my part, and just watch. I'm trying not to get too tall over you. I'm trying to come down here a little bit.
You get as tall as you want. You don't mind. Ready? On this episode of Bigfoot Odyssey, we're on the Omaha Reservation in On this episode of Bigfoot Odyssey, we're on the Okay. I screwed up twice.
Yeah.
I got it. On this episode of Bigfoot Odyssey, we're on the Omaha Reservation in Macy, Nebraska. I know.
It's Omaha,
Omaha.
not Omaha.
I know.
I don't know anything.
Omaha. What the hell? Okay, here we go. We're going to do this. On this episode... Sorry.
I have a long one to
I
remember.
know. What the hell, dude? Oh, hush. Here we go. Okay, let me do it. Pass my sequel. Okay. On this episode, On this episode of Bigfoot Odyssey, we're on the Omaha.
It's only 26 minutes.
Okay, shh. Stop laughing at me. You're making it worse.
I'm not. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. On this episode of Bigfoot Odyssey, we're on the Omaha Reservation in Macy, Nebraska.
Just say Omaha.
Omaha.
Not Omaha.
Omaha.
All right.
Omaha. On this episode of Bigfoot Odyssey, we're on the Omaha Reservation in Macy, Nebraska.
But with the rest watching, what we refer to as Bigfoot or Sasquatch, the Omahas call Setunga, which translates literally as Bigfoot.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Thanks for being here tonight. Got a great show planned for you tonight. Going to be talking to KERRY. And KERRY had a very terrifying encounter when he was out hunting. He came face to face with one of these creatures, changed his whole life. And it's a very fascinating account. You'll kind of have to watch the behavior of what happened to KERRY, because it's not a normal charge from the creature. It's like it came up and yelled at him. It's probably one of the more fascinating accounts I've heard. If you've had an encounter.
Well, that morning, it was March 10th, 2007. I'm not sure it was turkey season. I really didn't care. I was a bit of an outlaw back then. Offload my four-wheeler, and I fully camoed out. Got a net over my face, black paint over my eyes, a condo hat on. I was camoed out. Turkeys, you gotta hide from turkeys. And I finally got where I could see them, and there's turkeys everywhere. They're coming all up through the bottom and up this game trail. If I look about 10 feet to the right of the northwest corner of the end zone, I looked all the way down that north sideline, and then to the right just a little bit is a game trail, and it was wide. It was 3 or 4 feet wide, and I could see them. I could see down at a good ways, and I could see them coming up that and all through the woods. I didn't know how many it was. I just knew it was a bunch, and they're coming into that area where I am. So I'm getting kind of excited, and they probably get maybe 30 or 40 feet before actually coming into the little burned area, and they stopped. and perked up and then gone. They just exploded to the north, to my left. And of course I was upset and aggravated. I stood up. That when they took off, that's when I could really tell how many it was, and it was at least 30. I'd never seen that many turkeys being called up at one time. Well, just about the time I can't hear them anymore, I can hear what sounds like somebody walking straight out in front of me in that creek bottom. Well, that's who scared the turkeys, because they have a direct line of sight to whoever that is, or whatever that is. So I stood up. Shotgun. I had my right hand up over the butt, and my left hand I had it down on my side, a non-aggressive, I'm not going to shoot at you position. So I see this guy coming up through the thickets, probably 150 feet away at this point. I'm not paying a whole lot of attention, but I did notice that it looked like he was wearing a camouflage vest. Sideline of him on there. And he probably gets about 10 feet away from there, and I see him, and he reached his hand out to grab him, and I could see. I mean, I didn't know what I was looking at, but I could see skin on the inside of his arm, and I could see there was hair hanging down. Like I said, didn't register what I was looking at. I just thought he's wearing something weird. It wasn't, until thinking back of exactly what I was looking at. But this forearm was huge. It was it was the size of a football, and it was a lot bigger than his bicep. It was so misproportioned from what I remember. And he grabs this tree and he pulls himself right up to it. I mean, he pulls it right into his shoulder, and he stood up. And when he stood up and squared up, he just looked a whole lot bigger than he did when he was walking up. I mean, massive. And I think those were the moments, the moments of transition, that sudden realization that this is not a person, but still enough disbelief to where I'm waffling back and forth. But the thing that sealed it for me is when he opened his mouth and he started making the most ungodly sound I'd ever heard in my life. It sounded like multiple sets of vocal cords, and it sounded like something that you should hear on a demon movie, The Exorcist or something like that, like back mats and that tone, and I mean, that completely overwhelmed me, I think. I'm standing here like this, and I just feel this rush just wash over me like somebody poured cold water over my head. And I knew immediately what it was then. I mean, this is a Sasquatch. This is what everybody has been seeing and calling a Sasquatch. Well, it has to be for somebody. While I knew what Sasquatch was. I knew what Bigfoot was. I'd seen Patterson Gimlin. That's why when I saw this thing, I knew exactly what it was. When I finally was convinced that this is what it was. This is what everybody's been seeing and reporting in the woods. Probably a lot more people see it, and then they don't live to tell about it. This is what I was thinking, that I was going to die. That these were my last moments. That's what hit me.
Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it? It's a lot.
I can't imagine that kind of fear. We all have that when you're out by yourself out in the woods. Anything happens, you're worried about animals, and you see something that just your brain can't process.
That's what
there's something
never happens.
Yeah.
This never happens.
Well, you have to laugh to yourself when somebody comes up. Maybe if you're giving a talk or something, they say, "Well, if I was in the woods, I saw one, I'd track it." I'm going, "No, you wouldn't."
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
That wouldn't happen.
That feeling of vulnerability, I think, like you say, when you've been independent and you're a hunter, and suddenly to feel completely vulnerable must be, it's very hard. You can see anywhere on your face.
Yeah.
It's not an easy one. Well, look, shall we try and get into it, Larry?
I really finished the story, but it was the way his body language. So I knew something had happened really bad that night. Never once have I doubted Carrie. And just a few months ago, there was a new species of monkey discovered. So I always knew there's stuff out there that we don't know about. So going forward, as far as back then, didn't think about it, didn't care. Then Kerry and I grew up together. Now, I never really paid him any attention because he's a little bit younger than I am. So, you know, and I was more into the playing ball, and that's where when I did see him, that's where I saw him in the ball field. But we had reconnected on Facebook and just started talking back and forth. And so I guess he was wanting to know what I was interested in. He asked me one night, and so I'm an outdoor person. I like to be with my family, doing the grilling thing. And I said, so in return, I was going to ask him, you know, what are you into? And so this 6'4", 6'5" man, big man, comes back and he says, well, I play piano and I dabble in Bigfoot a little bit. So
Dabble in Bigfoot.
I mean, his whole answer, the piano, everything just took me by surprise. So I was like, okay, you can tell me about the piano now, and we'll talk about the Bigfoot stuff later. So, because I didn't want to mess it up, you know, because didn't want to even talk about it really at first. So he did. He told me about the piano thing and that he had taught himself, and so he really got my attention. But anyway, it carried on for over a month because he was out there working, us talking back and forth. And so when he came home, he got home late that first night. And so the next day we're sitting on the couch. He's sitting on the couch and I'm sitting on the love seat, and we're right there at each other. And I said, okay, so now is the time that you can tell me about the Bigfoot stuff. And his whole disposition changed. Everything changed. He stood up. He started pacing around until he got around the coffee table to the front of me, and he started telling me the story. Now, the reason why I wanted him to wait till he came home, me being a nurse, we're taught to look at body language and things because, you know, you have people that just come in seeking the drugs. And so you look at body language, you look at the pulse, you look at blood pressure, you look at different things. So I wanted him to be face-to-face telling me this so I could watch the way his body reacted.
Linda, thank you. BO would never have happened if it wasn't for you. Thanks.
Yes, it would have. I just had to give him a little nudge. Kerry does 99.9% of all of this. Y'all don't want me touching a computer.
But you know what I'm saying? It's without you, it wouldn't have happened. And that's just the plain honest truth. Whether you want to take the credit for it or not, it's fact. And no, you're welcome. And everyone feels the same. And even Kerry feels the same. He says it all the time. You know, he never forgets the help, the support that you've given him. And he makes sure everybody knows that. And look who's here, by the way. You know, we talk about him and poof, it just appears.
I haven't messed it up too bad, have I, baby?
No, you did great. You liar.
About what? I knew when you came on here we were going to have a problem. Y'all just close your ears.
No, she absolutely, there would be no Bigfoot Odyssey without Linda. No.
Yeah, it's
and
one.
There was a lot more that I think she left out about when I would stress out the things that she did and suggested. You know, it wasn't just, hey, you need to go talk to people. There were several different iterations of that she came up with. So that's where we ended up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was me that decided we're not just going to go do somebody's encounter. You know, it's going to have to be an Odyssey. That's why we call it Bigfoot.
Entertaining that people could be able to watch and then relate to and still be able to say, okay, I can tell these two my story because they're not going to judge me.
We're live.
And we are live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Bigfoot Odyssey's Researchers Report. Got a real good show for you tonight. With me, as always, producer and co-host of the Researchers Report, the lovely Miss Daniela Aiello. How are you, Daniela?
I'm all right, thank you. Having a little bit of a weird day, actually. Some weird stuff's been going on, but hopefully it'll all pan out.
It has been kind of a weird day today. Have you talked to Jake and Adam? They're late.
I sent them a message a couple of hours ago, but they've not got back in touch with me. See what I mean? Everything's going off, going a bit crazy. I'm sure they'll be around.
You always warn me about that.
It's a good job I didn't make a bet on it.
Well,
So yeah,
right, seems like we got.
they'll turn up.
Well, we do have some encounter stories for you guys tonight.
Kerry, you're breaking up. Oh, what's going on?
Kerry, are you there? Can you hear us? We don't got much time. We're on the spaceship. You've been adopted. These guys seem cool. We're like way in the future right now. Man, we don't got much time. We just want to let you know we already watched this week's show. And we got a lot of cool new stuff for you guys. We saw it from the future. It's from the future.
What in the hell was that?
Lock on, and I kind of heard one click, and then I heard someone shout from the other side of the beach, and I just looked like that, and next thing, yeah, I feel this shh, like you know those words that 13-year-olds say at the time, like I'm not even gonna repeat it, but that if I hadn't moved, that thing would have just gone straight into my left eye, and it would have been fish food.
Was there somebody that actually yelled, or was it a weird noise? You didn't.
Somebody yelled, but not for me. It was just someone at the other side. Someone just gone, hey, like that or something, and.
Yep.
Yep.
There you go.
Hey, dummy, is what he was saying. Hey, dummy.
That'd be me. I'd look. Hey.
Oh my God. Yeah, those harpoon guns are nasty like that. Yeah.
All right. That was one.
Yeah.
That was
and
one.
So the second one is really, really dumb, right? And again, I was a kid.
The first one wasn't. So.
I was wondering how we're rating these because I can't wait to hear what's coming next.
We've all done dumb things now. Through the whole thing, but there's this thing. Belief, a lot of times, is the death of reason. I think in a lot of people. So they're easily swayed and believe things that probably didn't happen, or the way someone remembers something gets exaggerated into a way that could be misconstrued as paranormal, possibly. I don't know. It's just the way I see it. But we try to keep ourselves enough in our own lane and neutral enough that doesn't really happen. We just try to be straight what we think, take the natural route until we just can't take that route anymore.
That's the thing. Like, whatever's happening, people are experiencing something. So it's just, what is it? We don't always
seeing
know.
Sasquatch. What they are.
I'm just saying sometimes, there's other encounters as well, isn't it? And like it's just a platform where people can come and just talk about it. It doesn't matter what it is. It's more important that people have a place to share it because of, you see Kerry tonight,
A safe place.
A safe place.
You want to see what Linda got me for my
traumatic.
birthday?
Yeah. Hi, Frankie. Thank you. Oh.
It's a wallet. It's an alligator.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like raised up.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh wait a minute, I got something like that too.
That's better. That's better in that light.
Oh yeah. Oh, it looks like it's.
Yeah, like it's raised up. It's definitely raised up.
Oh, that is very cool. Oh, Larry's wallet is.
There's no money in
bigger.
it.
I heard mine.
Oh, okay. That looks like a caiman.
No, it's an alligator.
Is that a gator?
It's hard to get the money out once you.
Yeah, right.
The coin. You gotta be careful getting the coins out.
Is it just in a drawer there or something, Larry? It's not like he's just going through the drawers there till he can find it and pulls that out.
Dr. Doolittle.
Yeah.
Oh, I got critters in here.
Rattlesnake over here. And we're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bigfoot Odyssey's Late Show. Just me and Brad tonight. Oh, and look, there's Bailey. Hey, Bailey.
He's ready for some FaceTime.
Good deal. We hadn't seen him in a while. Well, happy Friday.
Before you leave for work, please. And this one I won't. Tomorrow never comes.
Ready, cliffhanger?
No. Just play my song. This is a bad enough morning.
Sometimes late at night, I lie awake and watch her sleep. She's lost in peaceful dreams, so I turn out the lights and lay there on the floor. And a thought crosses my mind, and I never wake in the morning. Will she ever die the way I feel about her in my heart? If tomorrow never comes, will she know how much I love her? And I try in every way, show her every day, she's my only one. And my time on earth, she must face this world without me. It's the love I gave her in the past, enough to last tomorrow never knows. I lost loved ones in my life, never knew how much I loved it. Now live the regret of my true feelings for them never worry me. I made a promise to myself, say stay how much she means to me. And avoid that circumstance where there's no second chance. Tell her how I feel. If tomorrow never comes, will she know how much I love her? And I try it every way, show her every day that she's my only one. And it's my time on earth, and she must face this world without me. It's the love I gave her in the past, enough to last tomorrow never comes. Tell that someone that you love
Night Football, late 70s, early 80s, I think. Him and Dandy Don Meredith. All right. You guys email me if you want to chat. You can call. I'm usually always available for a few minutes anyway. And if I'm not, I'll call you right back, or I'll definitely message you. But thanks, everybody. Y'all have a good night, and God bless you.
All right, guys.
Wow.
Right.
Wow. Wow. Daniela, Gary, that was, I know I cried, and I think you muted me because I cried.
There.
That was
Beautiful.
so good. That was so sweet and so loving. And thank you, Daniela. As I said, you've been a rock. Linda's been a rock. My wife's been a rock. Jackie, you've been a rock. And other people have been a rock. And just thank you for that.
Yeah. We've all been, you know, there for each other. It's just been really hard to, you know, deal with all this on top of everything else. You know, what happened with Kerry just makes everything else just, you know.
It does. I mean, I miss my pal.
Yeah.
You know, the big guy in the sky throws his curveballs, and we have to respect it. We don't have to like it.
No.
And, you know, it's just seeing everybody in chat, watching the video, reacting to the video. I mean, my handkerchief's wet. You know, God bless my buddy.
I think we all have like, you know.
Yeah, Kerry's. It's like at 168, Kerry would look at me when I put on this pink shirt, and that's the reason why I'm wearing it tonight. And he looked at me and he goes, "Pink," and I go, "Yeppers." And he just kind of gave me that, pardon my French, that shit-eating grin that he had, and I kind of did the nod thing, and we, you know, nodded, and you know, the next day I pulled out a fresh pink shirt, and he goes, "Pink?" Yep. And then the next day I pulled out another pink shirt, and I can't say what he said, but he was just like, you know, in the way Kerry would. I mean, it was so endearing.
Yeah.
And the thing that's so funny is when I would be a smart aleck to him, and I'm saying that so Dixie doesn't get mad at me, he would just grin at me and go, "Okay, I know it's coming." And that's what was so much fun. And I have to say that this is the last thing I'll say before we bring Linda on. Kerry and I did a show right towards the end, and we had nothing. No guests. Kerry read. You know, I'm like, this is going to be an hour show. And then we just started talking like we did on the phone. And I diverged. I would go this way, then I'd go this way, and Kerry would kind of shake his head at me, and he'd follow me along. And afterwards, we both said, this is going to be horrible. And everybody liked it. And it was, I was so humbled. And I look back at that, you know, myself and my pal, it worked. And I think it worked with you, Daniela.
Oh, yeah.
Jackie, it worked with you.
Yeah.
It just worked. I mean, Kerry knew how to pick us. He asked me to join the Late Show after I did a show. I was the guest. And afterwards he said, you know, "Hey, got this Late Show that just started. You want to co-host it?" And I looked behind me thinking he was punking me. You know, where's Ashton Kutcher going to jump out? And I was kind of got irritated because I thought he was messing with me. And he was like, "No, I'm serious."
There's a reason why we're all together. And whatever that was, reasons Kerry picked, you know, it's we're really passionate about what Kerry created, this community, being the support, especially, and trying to create that awareness that's kind of affected us more than anything initially. It's like, what about all the other people? You know, what about all the community? Because we were trying to deal with it, and yet we have this loyalty. And plenty of times, Kerry and I had talked about, when we talked about the shows and stuff, we kind of said, like, it's not something we could give up because it's a kind of duty now. We felt like it, that we have to be here to provide this space for people, and because we love to be here. And, you know, it's not a case of just turning up and doing it. It's something we passionately wanted to do and keep going. And, you know, this isn't something that can end, because there's so much invested in this now. So many people invested, so many people that have come here, and you know, we want that to continue. But when Linda's ready to come on, I think she'll give me the nod. If she's not ready, maybe I'll get Adam and Jake on first. Who here we go. I don't know where Jake's gone, but Adam.
Hello, Adam.
Hey guys. Jake texted me. He said he's buffering, so unfortunately he's trying. He's on the other. He's
been
trying.
there. We've all been there, unfortunately.
Happens to us every time.
Yeah.
Hi guys.
Hi.
How are you?
Hanging in there, buddy. Just, you know, like everybody else, super emotional. That piece that I just watched that you put together was, I don't know. You know, it's like probably for a lot of people that this hasn't completely set in there. You know, it's like, you know, every time I think about it, it doesn't seem real, and it's a total mess. And but I want to do happy, you know, celebratory celebration of his life more than anything. Just the trust that he found in us, and to bring a couple guys like me and Jake onto his channel and goof around with him. I mean, that meant so much to us. We let him know.
Yeah, he loved Blue Line Wednesday.
Yeah.
It was fun. And and that's why I included it in that video, because I knew it was something that he loved to do. So, and you know, it was just something different. And you know, you were great, both of you. You and Jake. It's a shame he's not here. But he, you know, he helped lots of channels. He reached out and got to know lots of creators. You know, he was interested in what people were doing, and he made friends with lots of people.
He was so giving with his time on that. I mean, he thought that if he could help somebody, I mean, he always treated people the way he wanted to be treated.
Yep.
And that was so important to me. And I know it was important to everybody else, because I got the messages. Everybody got the messages here at Bigfoot Odyssey. And it made us feel like that we made a difference with a man that made a hell of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you say to that? How do you react? I mean, I guess that's why I've already changed glasses, because my other ones were wet. You know, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean,
I know.
He loved helping people. He talked to everybody who called.
Yes.
I never understood how, you know, he found the time to do everything that he was doing all the time. And then he was working these like 12-hour shifts over and over and over and over again. I mean, I talked to him like probably like you guys do a lot on the phone outside of Bigfoot stuff. And the guy was just a machine. And I'm like, how do you do this? Like, I don't have enough energy to put in to do just the Blue Line Wednesday show. And you're doing that, then you're doing this, then you're doing that. And it's like, boom. I was like, I don't know how he did it at all. I don't know. He was just the awesome guy.
He kind of kicked everybody up a notch. I mean, the way he was, and to be picked by him to represent Bigfoot Odyssey, it was an honor. But you had to kick your game up, and he kind of knew who could kick their game up, who could take it to that level when he wasn't there. That he would go, that was a great show. He'd send a text after a show when he wasn't there with me, And I thought I would bomb. He said, no, you did well. And I know when Daniela and Jackie, he was just so encouraging. And there's so much love.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that needs to be said these days. I mean, love actually works, and being nice to people works.
Mm-hmm.
Being respectful, and I'll just be quiet and listen. I'm
divergent.
He certainly changed mine and Jake's lives for the better in tons of different ways, and we'll always be grateful of that. And he's always right here in our hearts with us. And like Brad keeps saying, I miss my pal. Yeah, well, me too, buddy. Big time, man. Big time.
Yeah, I mean, just feels so surreal doing a show like this.
I'm waiting to wake up.
Heavy.
Yeah.
I want to wake up. I mean, this dream sucks. I want to wake up.
Yeah,
I'm done.
No doubt.
I know.
So let's just I want to keep making sure that we I never got to know Linda on a personal level, but I obviously knew her through the show, and I've been trying to do my best to spend positive energy towards her to try to help her get through this, and just try to think about what she's going through, and when I can just like take a moment of just like a little bit of calm down and put good energy towards what she's going through, because I can't imagine anything like this. So I just wanted to say that, and to
Linda's strong as bear's breath. I mean, she is. When I talk to her and I start crying, and I just go, Mississippi girls, there's something about them. Thank God I married one. And it's.
She's a very strong lady.
She is.
But she has been through the mill these last few weeks. It's such a experience, and I think she's amazing to have got through this the way she has to this point. It's just such a lot to deal with. But
she's been helping me get through this.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, is amazing. That I'm supposed to be here helping my buddy, because I know my buddy would be doing this for Mary, and I'm trying to help Linda. And Linda's like, she said to me so many times, Bradley, what would Kerry say to you? And he'd say, calm down, I got your back. And I mean, she knew it. She said, Bradley, what need? She'd say, exactly. And then I kind of get a little better, and I realize, whoa, this is reverse. I should be doing this for her. She's strong.
Yeah. It's just such a weird place to be. Grief. Yes. And sometimes giving makes you feel like you're doing something, and sometimes receiving it is what you need. So it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? But still, you've all been there. We've all been there for each other, and that's the main thing. And, we're always going to be here for each other. But look, I don't think Linda's ready yet, but let me bring up. I think she is. Adam, do you want to hang around in the bottom?
I can go backstage.
Yeah, still. All right.
Let's keep Kerry's ideas and what he wanted to do with awareness and the whole mission going, and keep new ideas coming. Keep having fun, and just keep going on.
Definitely.
With him with us the whole time.
Bingo.
Absolutely.
All right.
Love you guys.
So
does Jake, and he's apologizing. He can't. This thing's messed up.
No problem. It is what it is. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go. We're going to bring Linda on.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hi, Dad.
Howdy.
I know it's so difficult.
Hey, we love you.
Come on, absolutely.
We love you, Linda.
Yeah. You just take your time. If you want to go on stage again, that's fine. I think you're very brave coming on here.
Yes, indeed.
If you want to make fun of me, please do it.
No. It was very beautiful, Daniel. Thank you.
Welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you, Linda.
It is important that you remember what Kerry stood for. Kerry wanted to bring people together. That's just how he was. And everything he'd done for Bigfoot Odyssey, when we started out, he had tried to do investigations. He couldn't. It just wasn't in him. And I knew he had to talk to people. So that's sitting on the couch one night, we came up with, hey, why don't you just have it to where you talk to different people? And then, of course, he made Bigfoot Odyssey into what it is. He wanted people to come together. That is the one thing that we all have to remember. And it was evident in everything he did. Even when Kerry couldn't do his own show because he worked a full-time job, he also had a family, so we had family things to do. He had so many from the very beginning that would step in. He had Paranormal Portal. He had West step in. He had Sawdust Beast. They stepped in. Blue Line. Those two nuts stepped in. I love them. I used to laugh at those two so hard. They just made me laugh. Cam has been wonderful. Has even told me he'd help me through with some stuff. Tex was another one. I mean, there's just so many. Mark, Larry, I can't name them all. But that's what he was doing. And for someone to come that had their own show and come and do his show showed you that it was working. He was bringing people together. He didn't tolerate people being ugly to one another. He wanted a place where people could come and tell their stories and not be ridiculed, not be made fun of. And he made that very evident in everything he did. The moderators knew if they do it, you time them out. If they do it again, you block, you take them out. And Kerry would a lot of times after the show go back and look at the comments. And if he didn't like it, then he blocked them from the channel. He wasn't going to have someone pick them. It's just not in his nature. Kerry was the type, if you needed a shirt, he took it off and gave it to you. That's just how he was. If he knew he could help somebody, he did, and sometimes he overdid. But that's what made him such a lovable person. And that's what made him to where people who never met him felt like they had known him forever. So if anybody really wants to honor him, that's what you do. You don't sit and make fun of people. If you got someone that's out there doing something and putting you down, take the higher road, because that catches up with them in time. You don't have to be a part of it. Yes, it comes back around, and Kerry knew that. I'm sorry. I was trying to hold it together.
You're doing great.
You are amazing.
So I want to say thank you to a lot of people, and I hope I don't forget anybody. First of all, I've only got this many more cards to write thank you notes on. I do still have to call and get some addresses from the flowers because some of them didn't have addresses on it. So I do still have a lot to do, and I do what I can. I still have a lot of stuff I'm having to take care of from the accident. But thank you. The cards were coming in within the first few days. I could not read the cards probably for about a week because I had to travel, to Pecos, and I just couldn't open them. Cards have beautiful poems and stuff, but I knew people would be writing things in it that would probably tear me up a little bit, and so I had to hold off. And so I did finally start opening them about a week later, and the words were so true. Grief is a part of love. It's the price we pay for love. That was one person, and they had put the poem in there about that, and it is true. If you ever truly loved anyone with your whole heart, grief is the price.
This is still really raw, still really Oh.
But I thank you because y'all, the cards, the words, they really did comfort me a lot. There was beautiful flowers. My house smelled like a garden. And I had to call Miss Charlotte and tell her to hold off on the flowers until the memorial service, that she could take the orders, but to hold off. And it was funny because the next day she drives up in my driveway and she says, I had to bring this one to you. And I was like, okay. She had lost her husband way back in a car accident. And this was a basket and it had live flowers in it, but there was a waterfall in this basket. And so whenever I was here by myself and I could turn it on, and I think she knew that because she had been through something similar. And that was from Mike and Sherry. And it honestly was very, very peaceful having that here. And the rest of them she held off on until the memorial service. So I do thank all of you for that. I thank all of you for just being respectful and understanding that this was a time for family and close friends. The guys that worked with my husband were like brothers to him. Those guys did not leave my side when I went out to Vegas. They have even took 3 of them, and they made the trip, 16-hour trip for the memorial service on short notice, drove straight through to support the family. And they were torn up. Those guys, you know, they had my husband as much as I did. Kerry would be home. They had started at 18-9. Kerry would be with me for 9 days, and they always kept 3 contractors out there. So he would be with Rusty for 9 days, and then Adrian for 9 days, and then I'd get my turn again. So being able to go out there, and I knew a lot of the guys because I have traveled out there so much, and being able to go and sit with them and laugh and cry. And, you know, their trailer, when you walked in, this side was the office. And then this side was the living room and the kitchen and bedrooms. And Rusty's a character in itself. And he said, well, let me tell you, Miss Linda, you know, he put his keyboard over here in the office. He said, I can move that a half an inch. And he'd ask who touched his keyboard. You know, he said, but I could walk in that living room. They'd be closed all the way back to the room. There'd be dishes in the sink. I was like, oh, yeah, he did not have OCD. I know this. So, you know, it was fun to laugh with them and carry on with them about that, and the love and the support that they gave me and the kids when we were out there. I will never be able to thank them enough. My daughter, Cassie, and our son, Hunter, and my son-in-law was the ones who went with me. My son-in-law stayed at the hotel while we done all the running, and the kids being able to hear, you know, Kerry talk about them, and the guys say, oh, we know who you were. You know, they needed all that. And so God did, as horrific as this accident was and as devastating, he gave us peace in every place we went. One of the guys, after the fact, he couldn't make it to the funeral, but one of his guys did come. He got a tattoo on his arm, you know, from his elbow to his wrist, and it's a mountain scene, and it's got a big lake, and you see this fish on the end of a line coming up out of the water, and then the line goes back to the guy standing on the bank. Well, Kerry loved to fish, and the guy standing on the bank is Bigfoot catching this fish. So he had sent through 6 hours of this tattoo for him. So, I mean, you take Bigfoot Odyssey and all the people that loved him here and didn't know him, and then you take people that lived with him and knew him, and so you can only imagine. So those guys, 100%. Bradley, Rick, I can't even name everybody. Daniela, Katie, there's been so many that has just jumped in there. My family, his family, just jumped in and just said, hey, you don't worry about this, you don't worry about that. And if I can catch my breath, I'm going to read y'all something that Pam wrote. Pam had, after Kerry had went out there, Pam had wrote a poem for Kerry. She also did some paintings and sent back to Brad and Kerry. But she had wrote a poem to Kerry and I. And Kerry come home, you know, he got it, and he's like, baby, read this. And he was just so proud of it. So I had messaged her today and asked her if I could read it to y'all. And she had said absolutely, because I didn't, you know, she gave it to us, but I still wanted her permission. And I'm going to try to read this because it's a poem that she wrote about Kerry. So is it okay if I go ahead and read that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh. Okay, and thank you, Pam and Paul, for writing this. But it's the name of it's A Better Man. I went to the woods almost every day, thinking to myself, I'm nobody's prey. Then one day my life was turned completely upside down when I encountered something that I thought should never be around. After that day, with the help of my wife, I knew what I had to do. I needed to help other people that had experienced what I had went through. So that's what I did. I started a show. I never would have imagined how fast it would grow. Until the day we are told the truth, this lie will never end. But talking and spreading awareness in a battle, we can win. My platform is integrity, awareness, and honesty. My platform is called Bigfoot Odyssey. The day of my encounter, I'm not going to lie, I actually thought I was going to die. I guess on that day, God had a better plan because on that day, He made me a better man. So Pam had wrote that, and if you know Kerry's story, that is Kerry, 100%. So thank you for writing that, Pam.
Yeah, definitely.
It's beautiful.
Very beautiful.
Yeah. It's affected so many people. It's when I say unbelievable, I mean it is quite unbelievable. I mean I've never known such an outpour of, you know, sympathy and contact and messages, and it's just been amazing.
It has.
A real eye opener to just what he meant to people, because everybody had their own connection with Kerry. It's not just about me and him and what we did. So much more going on, so much more about him, you know, and yeah, it's a big loss for everybody, and it's
Yeah.
understandable why everybody who, you know, has supported us and been with us for so long. I can really understand how, you know, it's affected you as well. Everybody out there, it's just, you know.
I will say one thing: when you know you're going to cry, make sure you have a handkerchief that's not sandpaper.
Yeah,
for whatever that's worth.
Good tip.
Made a poor choice.
Yeah, I'll
But
send you a box of nice fluffy ones.
I need some fluffy stuff from the UK. That would be lovely.
No problem.
But I tell you what, to jump on what Daniela said, people have been so kind and loving and checking on me personally, and it's meant so much. And I think we have just some of the loveliest, and I'm going to quote Danielle when I say loveliest, that's the UK thing. People that are so just sweet and thoughtful, and it's kind of made me go, oh, all right. I mean, what Kerry created has touched other people, and that's just a beautiful thing, and I just can't thank enough people for that. And
No, and what Kerry created is Bigfoot Odyssey. And it is going to continue to be just the way he had it. Of course, he won't be here. He's always going to be with us in spirit. Still be bringing on guests. Still be telling about their odysseys and their experiences. But it will be a platform where it is a safe haven to where they can come and they can talk without the ridicule, without the judging, because that's what he would want. So we're going to try to continue it for him. And I think enough people that knew him and honored, you know, they would honor him by doing and continuing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that's yeah, we that's what we want to do, is we want to keep this going. We want to be here for people, and we hope that people will still support us. I mean, I know everything this channel was about Kerry, but I feel like it has developed into that place for people to come to. Both Brad and I and Jack here, we're here. We're going to be here. We're going to be continuing. You know, like Linda said, encounter shows, some researchers report, maybe some drawing Bigfoot, but we're just going to go slow and, well, not too slow, but yeah, this is what Kerry was doing, and it just feels, you know, would be like a tragedy to just end it all. There's just
Yeah,
no
I mean, the fairway that he created was so, you know, and I use that metaphor. I remember like when I first did the show about Bigfoot Odyssey's fairway, it was a late show because that's, but it's just so true. And Kerry did make a safe environment for everybody, and he made people feel respected. And that's one thing that I kind of realized when I was throwing temper tantrums and other things while I was trying to learn how to grieve. People respected what he did and what he created, and to do that and carry on is such an honor. And you know, like I said, look at me, I'm between three gals. I'm luckier than it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Sorry, Mary, it's a great thing. But you know, it's we're going to make Kerry proud. And I'll say just one goofy thing. Linda and Daniela and my wife know that last night when I was told we were going to do this, I became an 11-year-old. Just because I wasn't ready. I was scared. I didn't know what to do.
A 5-year-old.
Okay, I was close. I mean, Kerry said when I got mad when I had to ride in the back of his truck, I acted like a third grader, and I corrected him. But maybe I was. But anyway, I got in my truck this morning with Old Bailey, and first thing in the morning, I was listening to Pearl Jam's Sirius XM station. And this one song I love that kind of helped me get through when my wife had breast cancer was Given to Fly. Favorite song. I hadn't heard it since Kerry passed. And it was on first thing in the morning. And I was like, ruh-roh. And it just made me flash back to my tantrum and go, ruh-roh again. This is my sign. And you know, and when I tell you that Danielle, Linda, and Jackie are so strong but loving at the same time, I kid you not. It's been such a help and such a wonderful blessing. And you know,
we all deal with it in different ways, and that's okay. And I just wanted to get busy. I mean, as soon as I came out of hospital, I wanted to get straight into it, and I'm still ill. You know, I'm still recovering, but all I wanted to do was come back and get this going. And you know, the shock of finding out Kerry had passed away, and then unbeknown to me, I was discharged from the hospital after nearly 6 weeks. The day after, that was like two kind of shocks, and the transition of getting used to being home again into the hospital. I mean, it was just such a weird time. It was just too much to take in. So, yeah, we're all dealing with it in different ways, but we're ready to be back here and here for people. And, you know, we want you to get in touch. We want you to come to encounters with us, and let's keep this going, and the awareness and everything that Kerry wanted. You know, we can't do the documentaries like Kerry did. We can't do the travel shows, but who knows what's in the future. You know, like this channel developed organically, I think we can build up to bigger things. And really, you know, the more numbers we have, the more people that we have that we get together, the more support. Who knows? But you know, we're staying as far as we're concerned. We're not going anywhere.
And you know, the tough thing is it's hard to interrupt a girl. Kerry and I, one time, were trying to interrupt each other the whole night. Oh, yeah. I mean, because I'm wearing a pink shirt, but it's, you know, it's like I can't interrupt a girl. I have to be a gentleman, and I got to figure out. I got to watch back and see how Kerry did it, because he did it so well.
He did. He was great.
He's a master at it.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch the breaths. When y'all take a breath, and I'm gonna swoop in. But it's a lovely thing he created, and it's a blessing. And we want to be there for folks and have it be a safe place.
Yeah, it's a love story that became a mission.
Mm. Yeah,
That's perfect, Jackie.
definitely.
I'm gonna take my puppy out and then I'll come back. But whenever he was hearing Kerry sing, he was whining. So I'm gonna take him out real quick, and he's not doing very good. And Gesture's mine until Kerry came home, and then I was chopped liver. So if we listen to this, because Daddy walked in the door and he got sugars before I did because he was in Daddy's arms before I could get to him. So I become chopped liver. So when I'm wanting to listen to Kerry's songs or something, he's sitting here whining. So he knows something's not right. But I'm going to take him out. So y'all give me about 5 minutes and go ahead and talk to the other guests.
I'll bring some other folks on.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm still listening. I'm just going to disappear for a little while.
All right, we'll see you soon. Okay. Thanks. Linda. See you in a bit. Right, let's put Linda's screen down. Where am I? There we are. And these guys have been waiting a long time, so I better bring them on. I didn't kind of want to crowd. Hello, Tex. Hello. And Jason and Brent Thomas, Paranormal Portal. Hi, guys. I know you've been waiting patiently.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Yeah. Hey, glad y'all are here.
I got you all here a bit early. I'm sorry. I didn't realize how things were going to go, but that's just how we roll here.
I just think this has been such a powerful presentation in honoring a man that just transitioned a whole lot of us. His impact was so far and wide. I really think he helped to transform the entire community because he came into it with an integrity and a sensibility that really people were able to join him. And it was an odyssey and is an odyssey because that was his vision. And I just thank God that I was able to call him my friend. It was just amazing to be a part of. And going into the future, I would be thrilled and honored to continue to be a part of it when you need me.
Absolutely. Always count on you as a co-host.
Yes.
Obviously, when Tex isn't free, when Jason isn't free, and when Jackie isn't free.
You're at least fifth or sixth person on the list, man.
I'm the last one on the list. So.
Oh, and Brad, sorry, or Bailey.
Yeah. And she'd rather have Bailey than I, and I agree with that. That's
fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
I agree.
Well, let's face it, Bailey's going to make a better co-host than any of us. So,
true.
There's that.
True. So true. I wish he was snoring right now so I could do this in front of Kerry just to twist him off a tad.
Bradley, pink.
Yes, this was. I had to wear it. I had to get out the pink tonight for Kerry, just because I know he's going to Casper the Friendly Ghost me later in the night. So I'm prepared for it. And
there you
go. What am I going to do? It's I don't know. It's yes, pink. I'll just leave it at that.
Hey, John Wayne wore pink.
Hey, look at this. Speaking of,
I wear pink every day.
Tequila. Yes, sir, baby.
You haven't had as much as I thought you would. To be honest,
I have more bottles.
Oh,
you're going to make me go break out my whiskey here in a minute, and we're going to be in trouble.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
That would be a good thing. Get some bacon and some whiskey going.
There you go.
There you go. I'll have to get a coffee. I mean, it's getting late, guys. Not that I'm not that I want it to end, but maybe drinks on another night. Not a school night.
The after party.
Yeah.
There will be an after party tonight, I assure you. Even if it's Bailey and I, because
Go for it. I'll be in bed at that point.
Count me in, Bradley.
Let's do it, brother.
Yeah.
But
I'm in Texas.
Oh.
There we go. Look out. Katie bar the door.
Oh boy.
You know what?
Private meetings.
I haven't got goofy in a while. Well, that's on camera, so I'm up for it.
Well, let's wait.
I may have a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't ask my wife. She's probably said I did it earlier today, but you know, who's asking? But I tell you what, you guys coming on here, and this is all Daniela. This is all Daniela. While I was, you know, just acting like a moron or an idiot, or you know, Dixie's watching, so I have to be polite. But Daniela put this together, and she just nailed it. She nailed it.
Thanks.
Yeah, that video was just incredibly powerful. I was actually nervous about coming on because I've been fighting the tears the whole time, and I'm like one of those guys that when I start crying, it's like I'm being choked and I can't talk. It's like, you know, so I was like, oh God,
Sandpaper baby will wake you back up.
Yeah,
I was just trying to focus because
I got to tell you, you know,
thing.
I know the video was a brainchild between, you know, Daniela and Gary Spikes Jr. And y'all knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
And
I just wanted it to tell the story.
It did.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
It was.
And also how his story is consistent. Doesn't matter what show you go to.
Mm-hmm.
He was really consistent with his story. You know.
I think he was consistent.
And I'm not saying this to elevate myself by any means, but I've known Kerry for probably longer than anybody else involved in this has, except for Linda. And I remember when Kerry first you know came on the scene, and we would have conversations, you know, on camera, off camera, and I'm like, we would talk a lot about his encounter. And I don't want to make this all about Bigfoot. I really don't, because this is about Kerry. But I remember me and Kerry talking about it. And he goes, man, I got to be honest with you. He goes, before my encounter, he goes, I was not a nice person. He said, to be frank, I was an a-hole. And I told him, I said, well, you know, it still kind of shows through every once in a while.
Well, hell, it's big as big tags. I mean,
or you know, it was funny because when Kerry came down and went to the Jefferson conference, first time I ever saw him face to face, and I walked up to him, and
isn't that right? He was the big SOB. He was big.
You know,
he was.
I said,
Linda, do you want to come up, Linda?
Oh,
yeah. There we go. Got Linda.
In fact, Linda was at that conference. I got to meet Linda, and I couldn't quit hugging Linda. She. I told Kerry, I said, you know, I got to admit, brother, I like her a lot better than I do you. But man, that was when I first started doing, you know, shows with Kerry and started talking to him and everything. The impact that this subject had on him by having an encounter was, and the changes that he made in his life because of it, and because of Linda, was awe-inspiring. It really was. And I remember, and this is kind of funny. I remember one time we had this guy, and he came on, and I did one of his encounters, and then the rabbit hole went a little deeper on this guy's encounter, and it just got totally fantastic, and you know, and by that I mean unbelievable. And Kerry was so mad that this guy was making a fool out of us and taking advantage of us and everything. Oh, he was livid. I'm like, Kerry, pump the brakes, brother. It's okay. You know, why just want him making y'all look bad like that? Blah, 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 blah. That blah, 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 blah. That blankety blank, blank, blank. But that showed, you know, and we hadn't known each other that long, but what Kerry got out of all that was he was protective of us.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how he was. And going forward, you know, when I kind of spread my wings and was doing my own thing, and I went to Kerry a lot. We bounced stuff off each other all the time, you know. It was like, man, you ought to do this, you ought to do that. You know, he actually, I don't know how many people know this, when I started my channel and stuff, when I really started getting into it, and I was like, well, I don't know what direction I want to go with it and all this kind of stuff. He goes, you need to do documentaries. I'm like, that's your thing. No, you need to do documentaries. I'm telling you, it'll blow up. I'm like, okay. Well, we've done one. We've done one, and it was a hit. So, you know, but I don't know. I just remember anytime. Now, this is the kind of, now, unlike y'all, you know, we didn't, Bradley, me and Kerry, we didn't talk all the time. But we had one of those relationships where it didn't matter day, night, what time it was. He could call me, I could call him, you know, hey, brother, this is going on. What do you think about this? And all this kind of stuff. And Linda, Daniela, y'all know me and Kerry went through something that not a lot of people know about, you know. And it was you, Linda, you talked about taking the high road. Kerry talked me down off the ledge of not taking the high road on that one. And he was such a dear friend. Even if I didn't talk to him for a few months, it was right back where we started, you know. And
he's a gentleman, right?
You know, and there's a lot, there's people out there that love Kerry, and there's a few out there that don't like him. And I'll never understand that. But I think even if they don't like Kerry, they've got to respect what he's done and what he's accomplished. You know,
consistency.
Because he, man, I told him several times. I said, you're going to blow up. You hide and watch. Well, I don't know. This is when he first started. Well, I don't know. I said, look, you watch it happen. And then when he hit like 20 or 30,000 subscribers, and I was talking to him, I said, told you so. Well, you know, that's how Kerry was. Well, but
yep.
I don't know, man. There'll never be another one. That's for sure.
No. And there's certain things that Kerry done that other people can try to do, and it's not going to be the same.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when Kerry came on and would say, and we're live, for somebody else to do that, it's not going to be the same.
I mean, I didn't
do it. And I did that. I did it once the other day, just in tribute to him. And it was like, and it was like this, you know, and we're live for you, brother, you know, and top thing. But for a simple catchphrase like that,
he made it big.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did.
And we're live. Kerry had a voice for radio. I mean, wasn't his voice the best?
Oh, You know what? This is a good time for me to read something. And Linda, I wrote this for you and Kerry. Okay. So
You're not going to make me cry again, are you, Tex?
I don't know. I'll. You know what? I've read this a few times, and I read it to Bradley and Daniela and Jackie a while ago. So they said it wasn't bad. So here we go. Yowie, Bigfoot, the Sasquatch. Kerry Arnold was on a journey, and we were all invited to watch. You want to talk about the woo? Don't fool yourself. Kerry and Linda. Oh, yeah, they knew. Kerry's life changed when he met the boss of the woods, but it bettered him and started his Odyssey. From that moment on, Kerry plowed through the self-doubt, the ridicule, and all kinds of adversity. Linda beside him, they waded in hip deep. He never pulled any punches, but he never threw any either. He wouldn't hesitate to let you bend his ear so you could take a breather. He was a man's man, but the women folk liked him too.
Hell yeah, they did.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Old Pancakes himself. But the one he loved was Linda. And that statement, my friends, is true blue. Kerry stood high in this dysfunctional community, but he reined it in. Hell, he even managed to give it some continuity. Kerry was a dear friend and a man to be admired. Even with internet fame, helping a friend or someone he didn't even know is a task of which he never tired. Kerry did the Arnold name proud, and I hope a lot of y'all get this reference. A barbarian he wasn't, but a warrior, yes, without a doubt. Kerry knew for what he stood, and he held that ground firm. Love him, hate him, the result is the same. Kerry Arnold will be missed, but he will never, never be dismissed.
Bravo.
That's from you, my brother.
Hey, that's heavenly, man. And it's, how can you describe Kerry unless it's something like that he touched us all in such beautiful ways, but it was always personalized. Everybody he talked to on here, it was personalized. We all had our own thing with him, and he remembered it. And that's what makes it so hard. I don't know how to deal with it. I lost my pal. We all lost our pal. And my God, I haven't acted like a 5-year-old since about 2 months ago. So it's kind of just,
I think, this is what I'm hoping, that we're all here, and Linda especially, for you, is moving on sounds so, it's such an easy word to say, but there has to be a point where we all have to move forward. We have to take the next step forward. And for everybody who's grieving, it's not an easy thing to go through, but we have to carry this thing on. And Kerry would have wanted us to.
Kerry wouldn't have it any other way.
To bounce off from this.
Carry on.
He will never ever
Right,
be
Jake?
forgotten,
That's right, Adam.
But I hope this helps us tonight. Just talking about him and remembering good times and important things that he left for us. Messages, his words. He was always putting something together. He enjoyed reading at the end of his shows. His little pieces that he'd started putting together, his thoughts, and I think we really did create something really special here. I know we have, but we couldn't have imagined that it would go the way it did, and the quality of the integrity of this community that just keep us going and making it worthwhile being here for you all. And, you know, that's what we want to do is carry this on and, you know, move forward from here. It'll never be the same. I mean, that's something we all know, but
Danielle, you hit it. Integrity's the word. I mean, Kerry Arnold, integrity. That's the word. And grace.
You know, I just saw a comment over here, and it's so fitting. Darla Noble, man, that's awesome. She said, "Carry on" with a K.
yeah,
That's a good catchphrase.
Yeah,
I like that. That's pretty awesome. You know, Bradley, you said that, you know, earlier that Kerry had a voice, you know, and I'm not sure if anybody in here but Linda, I think Jason knows about it, but I don't think anybody in here but Linda may have gotten the pancakes deal.
I did.
And
well, how was it that she said it?
I'm going to explain that.
Please do, 'cause yes, please do.
We were doing a show one night, and this woman, and I don't remember who it was.
Me either.
But she said, she was like, Kerry's voice is like butter on pancakes. And we just fell out, man.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, anytime Kerry would come over, I had to gig him with that.
Butter on pancakes.
I didn't remember who said it. Oh, I remember, and I guarantee you, Linda remembers.
Butter on pancakes.
But it's been a
I
year.
remember the saying, but I don't remember what woman done it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that happened all the time. Whenever I'd go to Texas, I'll tell y'all a funny story. I had went to Texas, and we were going on like Fridays and Saturdays. We would always go and get their supplies for the week. You know, the guys would. Well, in Texas, a lot of the women made sure they were in Walmart on Fridays and Saturdays. And so Kerry, when he walked, he had this long stride. And I mean, I practically would have to run to keep up with him. But in Walmart, I loved dropping behind him just to see. And I don't remember which one of these guys had went with us that day. And so I was like at one end of the aisle, and he's up in front of me. And this woman comes around the corner, and she's giving him the eyes, smiling, giggling, the whole works, you know. And I'm watching her try not to laugh. And she gets about halfway, and she goes, that man. I was like, yeah, my husband looks pretty good, don't he? He took his hand, and he went, get over here right now, and stomped his foot like a 2-year-old. I'm cracking up laughing. And so the guy that went with us, he says it happens all the time. And I said, oh, I know. I said, I just laugh at it. He's like, don't you leave my side.
Oh my God,
I'm wearing my ring. I was like, that ring don't matter, baby.
Kerry was scared of Linda. I mean, he would. We had conversations
with good reason. Yeah, it's like it was what I was about to say. I'm scared of her.
Well, yeah. Well, no. Hey, yes, don't act like a 5-year-old around Linda. She'll pop the hell out of you, rightfully so. But it's so funny because he said, I'm scared of, and I'm like, well, shit, it's Mississippi girls do it to you. I mean, they do it. And that's why I'm scared of Mary and my wife and Linda becoming pals, because, you know, I'm going to be hanging upside down someplace.
He wasn't as scared as he was the boss. I hate to tell y'all.
Or my friend.
Usually because I wouldn't argue with him, I just like, okay, lady. But he would pull little things. But when we first were dating, I just looked at him one night. I don't remember what he had said. He was picking on me. I said, just so you know, I'm a nurse. Remember that, because I know how to take you out, bring you back, and take you out again. So from that time on, he told everybody he was scared of me.
He told about that one.
Bring you back and take you out again.
I like that.
I mean, he said you always had a scalpel on you someplace.
I will cut you.
No, I remember when I was getting near y'all's house, he said, Brad, don't piss off Linda. She won't, you know, Mary won't find you. And so like I walk in the house, I trip over a 40-pound barbell. And God, he was a strong SOB. I mean, he was like I used to call him a brick shit house. You'd hug him, and there was not any fat on him. I mean,
You
he was
can owe
so
Dixie a
strong.
lot of money if you keep on.
I know. I'll pay you. I only said 2 cuss words.
I don't care. My baby's in here.
I already apologized to Dixie 3 times.
Yeah, Carrie and I sort of adopted her, so you have to be respectful when you're in here.
I love Dixie. She's the best. And I apologized ahead of time before the show.
And you owe her $30. I've been counting.
Yes, ma'am. You notice? Yes, ma'am. I'm scared of her too.
You know, it always amazed me how Kerry he had this. Kerry had a side to him that was very no nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
But he had that sly sense of humor that he would slip in every once in a while. And a lot of times you weren't sure if he was joking with you.
Yep.
You know, it was it was like when we was at the conference, Linda. He was stoic for a while, you know, and I told Kerry, I said that because I always make fun of Kerry. And I told him one time, I said, you know, you're not too cool to be made fun of. I just want you to know that. But well, I remember when we went out and he was doing little shorts, little introductions or something for his channel. And we went out to the statue of Bigfoot and I was doing mine. And I couldn't even remember the name of my own freaking channel. And oh, he roasted me over that for quite a while. Not just then, but quite a while. In fact, I think it made it to y'all's blooper reels.
Yeah, I think it did too.
You know, when Kerry would pick on you, it usually was warranted because we've been picking on him.
Mm-hmm.
But I only got to do one Odyssey with him, the one in Oklahoma. And Linda was like, Bradley, you're never going to do another one. Don't you take my place. And so we were starting to do the end. You know, here we are in blah, 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 Oklahoma. And I kept screwing it up for like 20 or 30 takes. When I finally nailed it, Kerry screwed it up for about 20 or 30 takes. And it was so funny, I couldn't stop laughing. And he'd look at me and he'd cuss at me, and I just would sit there and smile. And it was just, oh shit, it was nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I loved the travel shows. That was something I mean, this was all Kerry, guys. I had nothing to do with it. You don't want me touching a computer, believe me. But I loved going on the travel shows with him. First of all, it gave us art a long time. You know, we were able to travel together, and it was fun. I liked to hike. I got in a lot of trouble. I got in a lot of trouble. I did because I liked to hike, and he didn't want me going off without him. But anyway,
without a gun.
Well, I had a gun. I was all right. But anyway, he didn't. But when we done these Odysseys together, he loved it. He would put his camera up on the tripod. He would interview the people, and then he'd take his camera and we'd go shoot these little areas. We met so many nice people. You know, I can't think of a place we went that I didn't like. I enjoyed it all. The one I least liked was his own Odyssey because I was a nervous wreck doing it. You know, when he was telling it, and then I was trying to do the part that he always done, the big part, and I was so scared I was going to mess it up. And I was sitting in front of the fireplace, and I made him. He kept standing there. I was like, "Leave, get out." I had done it like 10 times, and my tongue was getting twisted. And he's like, "Baby, I said, "Get out." And he left, and I did it perfect. But it was just because I wanted that one out of all of them to be perfect for him, because that was what I always try to do. That's like coming on tonight. I was very nervous. I'm one that I don't like crying in front of people. I try to hold it together. And I had a very dear friend of Kerry's tell me, "You've got this. I'm going to be right there, me and my wife, watching. You know, just give it to God." And I said, that's all I can do at this point. So that kind of support and that kind of love has been overwhelming. So, but yeah, he was one of a kind. One of a kind.
The best.
Absolutely.
You know, his and I've told Daniela this, and I think Linda, I told you this, when we were in 168, Kerry wasn't talking much and he wasn't very happy. And we had a conversation about 3 a.m, and I'm like, Kerry, you know, I was mad. And, you know, Kerry was in his truck, and you know how he's real, Brad, I can't tell you what to do. You got to figure it out on your own. I'm like, you SOB, you know, Brad, you got to figure it out on your own. In that voice, very monotone. So, you know, he forced you to figure it out. You know, he made you go to a higher level. He knew what he saw in you, and he expected it, but he made you want to do it. And that's what I think Daniela and Jackie and I, how we're going to honor him going forward, is by taking it to the next level and being loving and loving. I mean, we will take it there in honor of our pal. Because I don't want Linda yelling at me. I can tell you that. I'm scared of it.
I've said it before, and I don't mind saying it again. This is something he created. He created it for a safe haven. If I ever feel like it's not being done the way my husband set this up, the way it was meant to be, that people are feeling safe, that they're not feeling weird, then I promise you it will be taken down. I won't have anyone disrespecting my husband. Period.
And
Good-
I told
good for
Linda
you.
that. I agree. Jackie
Thank you.
agrees. Danielle agrees.
We will defend that fiercely.
So
I gotta say hey to Jake. I see you, Jake.
What? Are you serious?
Are you
Well,
going to talk?
I saw Adam a while ago, and I didn't see Jake. And then, you know, Jake's the one that always makes me laugh. So Adam's the sidekick.
I understand the sidekick thing. Yeah.
Oh, I'm
we're
gonna tell you, I
different
love
men.
these two guys. When they used to do the Wednesday nights for him, that was probably the one time I never missed. Kerry used to say, "Yeah, what you like watching them?" But I was like, "I love these two guys." They could
Thanks.
crack you up. So
yeah.
Well, we are lucky to be lucky to be a part of the family. The Godfather we call Kerry.
Yes.
From our what was this? Did we send him down the stream? I think he was on like a mountain stream episode. Geez Louise. He's the one. We wouldn't be here without him.
And I think that's the main thing. You know, I have seen a lot of the tributes to Kerry. Some of them have been just heart-wrenching because you know it came from these guys' hearts. Wes done one, Chris done one. There's been several out there, and I don't want to name them all because I'll forget. But 90% of them was just, you could tell it came from their hearts. They loved him. They loved him like a brother. And then you have the other side that you know that it's just a plug for their channel, and you can tell the difference between the two. So the main thing is that if I had to say one thing, Kerry didn't support just one channel.
No.
You know, he wasn't just about Bigfoot Odyssey. He was about a community, and he was about supporting everyone until they gave him a reason not to support him. You know, there was a couple of channels he'd say, yeah, them guys are full of it. But 90% he would support and back. And he would tell them, he had guys calling him all the time, hey, what do I do with this? Well, if he didn't know, then he was calling Wes saying, hey, what do we do about this?
Yep.
So, you know, he always found out the answer for you, you know, and I think that's how you honor him. That's how you continue it, is that you support one another, that you don't make fun of, you know, and that you just try to carry on the legacy that he tried to lay down for people. So
he was nice enough a while back to sit down with. I mean, yeah, we had to do it by phone, but we interviewed. I did an interview with him from one of my books, and you know, we were just talking. I had kind of the details. I wanted to get some sort of background on it, get into it a little bit, and honestly, I don't think he can ever be. He changed how I view everything that we do on air and what we're doing with this community, because Tex can attest, I tend to live in my own head sometimes, and I'm very goal oriented. Rather, I'm here, I have a reason, let's get, and talking with him made me realize how important. Yeah, great. Let's say we could figure out all of these things, where they fit in the ecosystem, the supernatural. Oh, well, it's like, let's say we can have all those questions answered. Great. But what does it really matter? There are people who are hurt. There are people who are lost. They don't know what to do with these experiences. His focus was on the people. People have been talking about, a singular word outside of butter, but is integrity, right? Ultimately, though, what it came down to is he had that integrity because his focus was on the right place. It was on the people. He cared and loved people, and you couldn't have that integrity without that kind of love.
No.
He built this community because he cared. He genuinely cared, and he made me a better researcher because I realized that he was 100% right. It doesn't matter at the end of the day if we can prove or not, or there are people for whom this phenomenon and all these other phenomena affect them. His focus was on the people and telling their story, because at the end of the day, that's all that there really is us humans being humans together and building a community that can support and care for one another and help people work through a lot of trauma, honestly, for a lot of reasons. There's to be a support and to realize it's not about what we're after, it's about each other. And that's what he did. He made, I think, a lot of us realize we're here to help each other in this community and to be that support system that we all need from time to time. And I think he did that for a lot of people. And you're right. The man was a mountain. I'm still more scared of Linda, but
me too.
But I don't think he could be any smaller because of the size of his heart.
Right.
He was genuine.
Yes.
He was. And Kerry, he has always told everybody that he was not a nice person before all this happened to him, that it did change him for a better man. And to have our memorial service and have family that hasn't seen Kerry in a long time. And then it was a memorial service, so it was hard. Kerry opened and closed his own memorial service with a song. There was a slideshow, there was pictures, and to have people come up to me and say, we just wanted to say thank God that he put you in his life because he is a better person. And I was like, well, he had a lot of stuff that led up to that.
Yeah.
But he had become the man he wanted to be. And so it was very important to him that he try to stay true to that he tried to be respectful. He tried to be honest, and a lot of times being honest meant him not saying anything because he, didn't want to hurt nobody at the same time. Yeah. So he had a big heart. And when he cared about something, he cared 100%, and he had this world of Bigfoot Odyssey. He had work, he had family. And as much as he loved everything, his family always came first. There was times he'd be on the phone with people and say, that's it, I'm getting off the phone. I'm going to watch movies with the family, or we're going to go out to eat, or we might decide to wrestle in the living room. And, just he always made that time. And I guess that's, he'd done all this with Bigfoot. He'd done everything with his family, but he still carried a full-time job that was very stressful. Yes. Making sure everything was running right. Nobody got hurt out there. And he did. He had all this energy. And there would be sometimes I'd say, okay, that's it. Put the phone down. It's time for you to rest. Because it got to where he couldn't even cook or something, because the phone was ringing. I was like, just put it down. They can wait 5 more minutes. And he started where he was doing that more. But he felt obligated to always answer. Now, sometimes he couldn't. Y'all, he would get 100, 200 emails a day. So he could only answer it as he could. He called people from Australia. He called people from the UK. I mean, he was on the phone all the time. So, and that was part of it, because I used to say, no, I'm fine. You go ahead and do what you got to do. I knew if he was on the phone with Rick, or if he's on the phone with Brad, I might as well go outside for 30 minutes, because he's going to be on there a while, So, but he always had that balance. He could always, that was something he strived for, to have that balance. And sometimes it was at the own sacrifice of his sleep. And I was like, no, I'm not going to sacrifice sleep. So he done it though. And that's like Adam was saying, how he done so much. It is hard to believe unless you were here watching him.
Well, it would be because I knew at 3:00 not to call, because it was y'all's gaming time. Then when I realized that Kerry was pulling 16-hour days, I would talk to him at certain times. We would text. That was easier. When he went home, I just wouldn't call. Not because I wasn't thinking about him or wanted to say, hey, what's up? Because it was family time. And I knew how important that was. And our talks could wait.
Well, you got to think, the 9 days he was home, sometimes he might have to run to Arkansas, or run to Florida, or run to Tennessee. A lot of the times I try to go, but with me being a nurse, I couldn't always get off work. So we had to balance that out too. So it was a lot. So, but he did it. And he did it with integrity, and he did it with honor. And that's what's important, that I want everyone to remember.
And grace.
Yeah.
Well, I think,
yes.
Honestly, I think Kerry set a standard that the bar is high, folks. The bar is really high. And I don't think we'll ever reach it. But he wouldn't have it any other way for us than for us to try.
We have to. We have to. We have no choice.
And that's how we're gonna push his memory forward. It's like I said, he's never gonna be dismissed. He made too big of it. Kerry was the meteor that hit this freaking community, and unfortunately, he left a big old hole, and it's impossible to fill. But we're going to have a hell of a time trying, and he wouldn't have it any other way.
And
But a big hole can be filled if enough people are willing to get a shovel and do it.
And just remember love. Remember, be nice, be kind, treat people the way you want to be treated. That's Kerry's way. That's what. That's why we became pals, because we both believed in it.
And he was right. You get more out of love and compassion and respect than you do out of being hateful and ridicule. You start that, people don't want to listen to you. They don't want to be a part of your world. That's all negative. It wasn't about I. It was about we as a team, and that's the important thing. So
I remember he I don't remember what show it was, but I did a show, and I get a text from Kerry. Goes, "You're going full woo, aren't you?" And I said, "Well, well, Kerry," I said, "I'm just trying to do what we always talked about, And we had a lot of conversations, especially early on, about how the community needed to come together. Didn't matter, I don't want to make this all about Bigfoot, but when you talk about the 8 camp, you talk about the Woo camp, it was bridging that gap. That's where that whole thing came from, was me and Kerry talking about that, and that's something that we always strive to do, give, and the whole giving somebody a safe place that they had been through, what he had been through, a life-changing event, and to give somebody at least an ear, and a safe place to talk about that kind of stuff, where they're not going to be told they're crazy. They're not going to be, seeing something that's not supposed to exist.
That questions your just everything that we grew up knowing.
Yeah, well, you honest to God, you question your own sanity.
Yeah.
You really do. And Kerry was one of those people that was willing to go that extra mile to make somebody feel safe, and like if somebody, it was like Linda was saying earlier, if somebody was getting disrespected or beat up in chat or what, boy, he did not do,
Mhm.
he didn't play that game.
He depended on the mods to time them out or to take them out of the show. But he went back and he would read stuff, and if you didn't like what he read, then you were blocked from the channel. You were not going to do it, and he didn't care who you were. You were not going to make fun of someone.
He
He
was so
was
protective
funny
that
about
way.
the language and stuff like that because there are a lot of kids that watch this show.
Right.
Dixie's one. What's the other little boy's name? I drew a blank. My mind's been like this, y'all. It comes and goes. But there was Zach's son. But anyway, he knows they're here. And when those kids met Kerry, I mean, they wanted the picture, and it was funny because I'm sitting there going, "Why? It's just Kerry." And so we sort of, with Dixie, we sort of adopted that little thing. She was just so sweet. And so, that's why I joke with Brad. If he says ugly words, he's going to owe her $10 a word.
How much
So,
last?
40.
You're up to 30 or 40 right now. I'm
40.
going to say, is it 40? 40? I'm going to say 40.
I'll admit it. Hey, to only be up to 40 is a blessing.
You're doing good.
I'm doing really good.
Danielle, I can't see chat. I'm on my phone, guys. Kerry, with the accident, we lost everything in the truck. So his keyboard was destroyed, the computer was destroyed. So I'm on my phone doing this, and I'm not watching chat, so I don't know if anybody has said anything or had any questions.
There's been so many. We've had over 1,000 people.
Yeah, we had almost 1,100, and I haven't seen
So
that.
it's been a little bit hard to follow, but there've been mainly messages of support and prayers and love. And no questions really. We're not, because we weren't going to go into the accident and all those details. We just kind of wanted to keep this about Kerry, remembering Kerry, and there's only a limited amount of stuff you need to know. Linda's had a lot to deal with, and just know that we all love and miss him. And this is it. We need to, kind of, he's gone, but so thankful for knowing him, for having that opportunity to meet someone like that, who I, just regret so much and never actually meeting him in the flesh. That just never happened. And that would have been really the icing on the cake for me to have met him. But we spent a lot of time talking on the phone, maybe more than Linda did at some point.
I used to tell everybody that Daniela was Kerry's second wife because he talked to her as much as he did me.
She's his European wife. I mean, you know how it goes.
She's the wife that has to listen to him. And what's funny is when Kerry would get in his, because I didn't listen, when Kerry would get in his little moods, to prevent an argument, Kerry was the type that would just sort of shut down and give you 5 minutes or whatever. And so Daniela got to where she was doing pretty darn good in handling. She's like, I would watch my watch, and then that 10-minute mark, my phone would be ringing. And I was like, yeah, 10 minutes was his max. 10 minutes, and he was calling. Okay, all right, let's do this. It was all that he didn't like conflict as far as that went. So, but I'm sitting here. And I'm looking at everybody, and Adam's hat that he's got on, they had made Kerry one of those hats. Kerry has so many shirts and hats from other channels and stuff. So, I mean, they always gave them to him, and he has every one of them. So that makes me very proud. It wasn't just about him or Bigfoot Odyssey. It was about everyone. And it makes me very proud.
Awesome guy.
I just need to thank everybody in the chat who's donated tonight. I mean, there's just been so many super chats. So thank you to everyone. there's literally too many to mention, and I can't
It's
get
been a
it
lot,
all,
and it's
but
so
it's been a
appreciated.
lot, and we really appreciate that and your support for the channel. And it's good to know that you do want this to carry on. It's important that we need to hear that. We need to know because it's all that we want to do. So I'm looking forward to it, to getting back into it. Just the saddest thing is Kerry's not going to be there.
But he will. He'll be there with y'all.
But
He'll be there.
And,
Yeah.
and Daniela, my wife is going to send you a shot collar remote for me, so I will be nicer. I promise.
I think I've already got one. I think I'm managing just fine.
I know Linda has one.
My words,
No, I'm scared. It's like I said, throw me in that briar patch.
Yeah. We'll train you up. Don't worry.
I kind of got a feeling y'all will.
Those girls will train you up. Don't worry. We'll make
Adam and I were talking about how we're going to have to Bigfoot Odyssey's mission, their mission statement, how we were going to have to carry that mantle to explore, document, and educate the masses through credible witnesses, and get out there, get your witnesses, and show them some support.
And it's just being kind to them too, just letting them know that we believe you. I mean, we've all had our stuff, and Kerry was amazing in calming people down and making people feel safe. For a big old fella, he can make you feel safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, guys, before I forget, one thing that I wanted to do when I first heard about Kerry was I live so far away. The only thing I could think of was to suggest a GoFundMe to help Linda. Just you can't imagine how much travel Linda's had to do. And if you're in the Facebook group, you'll know that it took 2 weeks really to sort everything out because Kerry was in a different state. So there's paperwork and delays, and it was. I wanted to set up a GoFundMe, and thankfully KTG actually set it up. The link is in the description now. It's the first thing you see. I know you've donated done the super chats, and we appreciate that. But anybody else, if you wanted to show a bit of support, I wanted to just take a bit of weight off the cost of all the traveling Linda had to do and everything else that came with it. And I think it's going to end on Tuesday. Is that right, Linda?
Yeah, I told him that I wanted it to go down. That's the 4-week mark. And I'm still thinking what I'm going to do with that. It is getting holiday time. Y'all know that Kerry and I, every year, we picked a needy family for Christmas. Not sure, but because I've already paid for his funeral and his memorial. So.
Yeah. Well, it'll take, it'll fill that dent in a little bit, hopefully. And everything we've got tonight, everything from the super chats will go, and we'll help another family this Christmas, just like Kerry and you have done the past couple of years now. So,
well, we've always done it in my family. My kids, I used to take them, and we used to do it. But Kerry came along, and he just made it bigger. Everything's bigger. we didn't do our gifts. We would do maybe one gift to each other, but we always. That's the one thing, Kerry and I was a lot opposite. I was OCD. He was not OCD. He was the Apple. I was, he was the iPhone. I was the Android.
Oh my God! You said that.
Yeah.
You used to say that all the time.
So that was the one thing we always were. We both are very giving people. It's just in my nature as a nurse. I rather give. I always have. I like to see the smiles, and Kerry was like that. So we had a lot of fun at Christmas time doing that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's just something. It's just a way. I know lots of people asked me if there was a way that they could donate, when it all happened. And for some people, that's showing their support and we're not asking you to do it. But if you want to show your support, it will be great if you.
And I did, and I should apologize. At first, when all this happened, I was adamant in saying no for over a week. And I realized that everybody had to grieve their own way after I had a friend talk to me. So I was like, y'all do whatever you want. And I shouldn't have stopped anybody from doing what they wanted to do. And I am sorry.
No, it's fine. You needed time to think. And,
Mhm.
Kerry would have been the first one to try and help someone out who not
All
that
day
you
long. All day
just
long.
to show some support to you to help you through this. It's just money at the end of the day, but it's something that I could organise from this distance, at least to. Thankfully, like I say, Katie G set it up, and just it's such you can't plan for these things, and I just hope everybody can, if you can, put a little bit in there and just take a little bit of the weight off what's happened off Linda's shoulders. So yeah, I think it's been good. Brent, you're very quiet. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I've just been listening to everybody.
Yeah.
I just I again, and I would just want to repeat this, of course, Miss Linda, and I'm so incredibly sorry, and it's really, I'm really amazed at your strength in coming here and being involved with this, because you're amazing. Everybody that's been on here, you guys have been amazing, and I'm honored to have been a part of this family and to continue to be. And I just I kind of met Kerry by accident. I was just doing a show one time, and I'd found your guys's your guys' documentaries, and I watched it, and I was just hooked. And so I went on my show, and I was like, "Oh God, guys, I found this channel. It's called Bigfoot Odyssey. You got to check it out." And I was talking about it, and I remember saying, "Then the guy on there, his name is Kerry, and he's a big guy, but he's got this voice like silk in that southern accent, and it's just amazing. I just love listening to this guy." And I think it was on the very next show. I was doing the show, and I don't know how he heard about it, but he called in. And I answered. I got blind call-in, so I don't know who it is. And it was like, hello. And he's like, hello. And I heard it right away. And it was just this awesome opportunity, and to meet him and to form a friendship over a period of time, and to be a part of your worlds and you all being a part of mine. It's just this incredible community that coalesced around him and around what you guys have done. And it's beautiful. And again, I'm just honored to be a part of it.
Thank you. He definitely had a voice. He used to get, because when we traveled, we would listen to different things on the radio, and it would be getting late. And he'd say, "What you want to listen to?" I said, "Oh, put it on Cam." And he's like, "You rather hear Cam than me?" I said, "Yep, I hear you all the time. I want to hear Cam." So, because Cam has that voice too, and I used to love hearing his stories.
Yeah.
So he would get tickled at that, and then I would say, "No, you still got him beat, baby." Then I'd look at Cam, and when I see Cam, I was like, "He's so jealous of you." So, because we would get to see each other a lot at conventions and things, and like I said, I've talked to Cam on the phone, and so Kerry, just his voice, I used to tell him all the time, even when he was not here and at work, and a lot of times he wouldn't have signal, so we had to text because we couldn't FaceTime and we couldn't talk. So I would listen to his voice going to sleep at night sometimes, just to hear. It's just that comforting, sound. So, but yeah, he definitely had a voice for radio.
Yeah, he did. I remember when I first started doing the researchers report, Kerry would always promote Paranormal Portal, go over and watch Paranormal Portal. I'd never watched the Paranormal Portal, and I know, sorry, it's shocking, isn't it, Brent? And I thought, oh, I'll go and check him out. And it was a night when Don and yourself was on, and I was fascinated how you both had the same backdrop. Like I was like, oh my God, wow, they've got the whole setup, the ornaments, everything's exactly the same. And I said to Kerry, "Oh, I was like, they got their own like studios." He says, "No, they just sat next to each other." And I was like, "Oh, right." Didn't realise. So
I thought the same thing.
I think we need a backdrop like Jackie's.
they are in sync, you know, totally in sync.
It's a new
So,
lion.
but anyway, but look, guys, I think we've done. You know, it's getting late as well.
It's only 2 in the morning.
I know exactly, and I've got an appointment at, you know, crack of
I'm
dawn.
glad we didn't do this at 7. I told you guys not at 7, only at 6.
That is not what you said, Bradley. That is
And
not
Danielle
what you
said,
said.
I have an appointment at 8:30. I'm like, okay, that 6 is fine. But
Yeah, I
it's
think I'll just have to stay up. Well, no, I'm not. I'm going to try and get some sleep.
Yeah.
But look, good guys. I think this has been really good tonight. I'm so glad. We were all a bit nervous actually to do this show. I've been thinking all day, how am I going to start the show? What am I going to say? And I've been thinking all day. And then like an hour before the show, I spoke to Brad and he said, "Oh, I'm going to open the show." I was like, "Fine, no problem." You know?
and I couldn't say a word because I mean, how do you open the show, right?
This is it.
It's this. That's all you can.
Yeah.
That's all you can say. And
It's all, but look, we've done it. We've got through it, and I think we really, you know, got to connect with everybody here on the screen, everybody in the chat. I've been watching all your comments and everything. It's just been going so fast. But,
And I will go back and read the comments. I just couldn't do both on my phone.
And I'll send Dixie a check tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Round it up to 100.
Might well, right? Yeah. Inflation.
Stick it in the GoFundMe. But you know, from going through the chat, I get it. You're here for us as much as we're here for you guys, and
it's
appreciated.
You know,
it really is. It really is. And you know, we've got this show done, and it just feels like we can now get the next ones done because it's been a long time as well. You know, it's been a few weeks, and
just like you girls said,
even longer for me. So we really appreciate you being here. All the, like I say, all the super chats. That's just amazing. I don't know how much, but it was a lot, and that's going to go towards helping Linda. And
there are so many people that were not here tonight. You know, Larry and Mark, I know they're camping.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that means Larry and Mark's camping and Sister Jamoon's probably camping. So, I mean,
they are.
There's a lot of people that still, you know, they have went out of their way for Kerry, helping him out with the show. You know, we would go to conventions together. Katie G and John was always there. Linwood and his wife. You know, there was many times we sat down and had dinner with them. So just know that Kerry, even though he's not here to where you can see and you can hear him, whether that's playing back something, he is always going to be with us. You know, as long as we have those memories, he's here. You know, and the best saying I can think of is, people die, but love doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we have to keep moving forward with.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say goodnight. I've had all I can take right now. And I thank y'all very much.
Yeah.
We love you.
Love you, Linda.
Love
Good night.
Love you.
Good night. Good night.
Well, I tell you, I'm so overwhelmed on seeing everybody that came up for this, and it's, you know, I'm a private person, and it just means a lot. It so means a lot, and I can't thank you how much for me personally. And I know Danielle and Jackie and everybody here. It's just it's a precious thing. Tonight has been a precious thing, and everybody in chat, that it's just so huge and so just humbling. And thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me be a part of this. I'm again, it's just, I think this was, it of course was a big blow to all of us, but I feel so much better now just hearing everybody tell their stories and everybody reminiscing about the impact of this one person in all of our lives. and it's been a real healing experience for me. So thank you all for bringing your stories to the show and to talk about it, because it's just it's an incredible thing when one person can make such an impact in so many lives. And he definitely has put a big footstep in all of our hearts.
Brought us all together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think I saw somebody kind of mention it a while ago, so I'm not stealing your thunder, whoever you are, but I think Kerry accomplished what he set out to do, and it's to bring everybody together. And it's, for me, and Bradley, Jackie, Daniela, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for not only letting us be a part of this tonight, but for carrying on. And you've got a lot of requests for that to be on T-shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
By the way,
That's two ends, people. Two ends.
We'll work something out with that, definitely. If it's armbands, something, I don't know, but we'll get some carry on.
Kerry,
things sorted out.
I'll have a template by morning.
Kerry
filed it first, the trademark.
Yeah. Kerry touched so many lives, and there's just so much you could sit here and say. I could go on for another 2.5 hours about Kerry, and I'll never forget him. I'll never forget him.
We never will. I mean, we never will. We're very blessed to have been in the presence of Kerry Arnold.
And I didn't get to say it while she was here. Maybe she's still listening. Kerry or Linda, we love you so much. We admire your strength. And thank you for giving that little piece of Kerry to us, for allowing that.
Yeah, definitely.
And I know you know this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Girl, anytime, day or night, you got the number. And that's all you got to do is say the word, because we're going to be here for you.
Yeah.
Kerry, Godspeed, brother.
Yeah.
He's with us all right now.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. All right. Thank you, Tex. Well, guys, let's close this down.
Okay.
It is getting late. I really appreciate you all being here. Adam, Jake, Blue Line Bigfoot. Thank you, guys. You've been a part of this journey.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Brent, of course, being my co-host many occasions and more occasions to come, I'm sure. And Jason, one of my co-hosts as well. And Tex, appreciate you guys always being there for me as well. Jackie, of course.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Goofy head. Me.
Bradley, Bailey, bottle of tequila. Good night.
And hey, Texas boys, we do need to get together.
Yeah.
Right, guys. We're going to be back in the week. I think we're going to be back on Wednesday.
Daniela tells me.
Yeah, we'll be doing it. We'll be getting back into the swing of things. Hopefully, there'll be a late show. We'll be doing some members only live shows as well. Most definitely. We really appreciate your support here. Leave us a comment, please, if you want to support this channel by just giving it a like and leaving us a comment. Tell us what you think of the show.
And thank you to our mods too, by the way.
Yeah,
Yes.
and thank you.
Appreciate it more than you know.
Definitely.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thanks to all. Everyone, have a good night. God bless. We really do love you all. Okay.
We do. Peace
Night,
out.
guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.